Who invented the things we use? We use stuff every day, whether it's a phone, a light bulb, an app, a car, a food, or anything else you can imagine. These things didn't appear out of thin air. Instead, someone invented them. But who and why? Let's find out. Here we will give you some details of who invented what. So let's start and enjoy. Who invented math? The history of mathematics. Mathematics, the universal language of abstraction and precision, permeates every facet of our lives. But have you ever wondered who first invented this remarkable discipline? While we may never identify a single inventor, the invention of math is a collective endeavor woven into the tapestry of human history. There isn't a single person who invented math. Mathematics, as we know it today, is often perceived as a universal language that transcends cultures and borders. Yet, it's essential to recognize that math, like any human endeavor, had its beginnings in the minds of ingenious thinkers from different corners of the world. The concept of math as a human invention underscores its adaptable and evolving nature. Unlike the laws of nature, which exist independently of human cognition, mathematical systems were developed and refined by humans over generations. We didn't just start with the Pythagorean theorem or quadratic equations. Math started off much smaller. The early origins of mathematical knowledge can be traced back to ancient civilizations that thrived thousands of years ago. Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, saw the emergence of some of the earliest mathematical concepts. In this fertile region, ancient mathematicians devised methods for counting and recording numerical information essential for administrative and economic purposes. Here, Babylonian mathematics was the backbone of ancient Mesopotamian mathematical education. Similarly, the ancient Egyptians made significant contributions to early mathematics, particularly in the realm of geometry. Their mastery of geometry allowed them to survey land, build monumental structures, and calculate areas and volumes with remarkable precision. The ancient Egyptians not only built stunning structures, they were more than capable of comprehending geometric concepts that the rest of the world just wasn't familiar with yet. The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's oldest urban cultures, also made strides in mathematics. Archaeological discoveries suggest the existence of a standardized system of weights and measures, indicating a sophisticated understanding of mathematical principles. So, mathematics was not the product of a single individual or culture, but a collective endeavor spanning centuries. Early mathematical knowledge was built upon the contributions of countless thinkers and problem solvers, each adding a piece to the puzzle. Who invented time? The human odyssey of measuring eternity. Since ancient times, humans have sought to grasp and measure time, evolving from stargazing to atomic clocks. This drive to standardize time showcases our urge to decode nature's cycles, culminating in the sophisticated systems that now orchestrate our world. Time, in its most fundamental form, is an unceasing rhythm that orchestrates the universe. Long before humanity sought to quantify it, time expressed itself through the perpetual dance of cosmic cycles. Stars blaze and fade, planets orbit, moons wax and wane. These celestial mechanics governed the very pulse of ancient skies and guided the earliest human timekeepers. Time as a concept wasn't invented, but discovered and refined by humans. Furthermore, no single person discovered time, as it is a concept that emerged gradually in human consciousness. It is a natural phenomenon that predates humanity, one that various ancient civilizations began to observe and measure independently. These early societies, from the Babylonians to the Egyptians, contributed to the collective understanding of time by tracking celestial patterns and creating the first calendars and timekeeping devices. This incremental journey across civilizations and epochs shaped our current understanding of the entity we now call time. Who invented music? The first tunes of the world. Music is one of the most universal and ancient forms of art, and its origins are deeply rooted in the history of our species. It is a medium through which emotions, stories, and cultural identities are communicated. Music predates recorded history, making it difficult to pinpoint a specific moment or individual responsible for its invention. Instead, music's origin is a result of the gradual development of human culture, communication, and the human capacity for creativity. The question of who invented music does not have a single definitive answer. We cannot pinpoint a singular genius who sat down one day, plucked a string, or beat a drum, and thus invented music. Instead, the creation of music was a gradual evolutionary process, likely beginning with simple rhythmic sounds from the far ancient Sumerian, Babylonian, and Egyptian civilizations and beyond. Humans quite possibly began creating these initial sounds for numerous reasons, whether it was to express emotions, mimic nature, tell stories, or express their perceptions of the divine. While humans are not the only species to exhibit musical behavior, we are the only ones with the creative ability to experiment, refine, and systematically organize sounds into music. As our brains developed, our capacity to recognize patterns, remember sequences, and anticipate musical structure emerged. We see a telling sign of this in the fact that the auditory processing centers in our brains overlap with regions responsible for spatial reasoning and motor coordination. This overlap might be an evolutionary artifact, reflecting a time when music and physical movement like dance or work-related rhythmic movement were inextricably linked. The invention of words is a profound and ancient development in human communication, marking a crucial milestone in our cognitive evolution. While it is challenging to pinpoint the exact moment or individual responsible for the invention of words, it is widely believed to have occurred during the early stages of human history. The invention cannot be attributed to any individual or specific civilization. Rather, it's a result of a collective and evolutionary process involving humanity as a whole, unfolding over thousands of years. Words didn't appear overnight, they evolved progressively as our ancestors developed the cognitive capabilities required for intricate communication. The development of words is intrinsically linked to the evolution of the human brain, specifically areas responsible for language processing. This evolution was driven by the need for more effective communication, which was crucial for survival and social interaction. As human communities grew and became more complex, so did their methods of communication. What began as simple, perhaps gestural or pictorial forms of communication in early human societies gradually evolved into more structured and sophisticated systems. Early humans likely started with basic sounds or gestures to express immediate needs and dangers. As these sounds became more standardized within groups, they formed the rudiments of spoken language. The development of language would have been a slow, organic process, influenced by various factors, such as the environment, social structures, and human migrations. Over time, these early forms of communication became more nuanced and elaborate. The development of syntax and grammar allowed for the expression of more complex ideas and emotions. This linguistic evolution was not a linear process, but a branching tree, with languages diverging and converging over millennia. Moreover, the invention of words and language is not just a historical event, but an ongoing process. New words are constantly being created, and existing ones evolve or fall into disuse. This dynamic nature of language reflects the ever-changing human experience and the adaptability of communication methods. Who invented numbers? The invention of numbers marks a cornerstone in the annals of human history, a key to unlocking the evolution of thought and language. As early societies grappled with the world around them, their creation of numerical systems signified a monumental leap in cognition and communication. More than mere symbols, these numbers were a transformative tool for ancient civilizations to perceive, quantify, and interpret their surroundings. The history of numbers begins with early humans whose survival depended on the ability to keep track of vital resources like food and livestock. Imagine a prehistoric human using tally marks on a cave wall or a bone, like the famous Ishango bone from Africa, to record quantities. These were the first steps towards a counting system. Each mark represented a physical entity, a primitive yet effective method to keep track of what was essential for survival. As ancient civilizations evolved, so did their methods of counting and record keeping. The ancient Egyptians, for example, developed a system of different symbols to represent numbers for their complex construction projects and astronomical calculations. In ancient India, a sophisticated understanding of mathematics led to significant advancements in number counting systems, including the concept of zero, which revolutionized math. The Romans, known for their engineering prowess, used Roman numerals, a system we are still familiar with today. Who invented school? The origins of schooling are deeply rooted in the annals of human history, spanning civilizations and cultures across the globe. From the early beginnings of informal learning to the establishment of formal educational institutions, the invention of schools has been a transformative force in shaping societies and individuals. There is much to know about the intriguing journey of school invention, tracing its roots through time and uncovering the societal, cultural, and philosophical factors that drove its development. Horace Mann, known as the father of the common school movement, is credited with inventing the modern school in the United States. But he shouldn't get all the credit. Schools were present in ancient Egypt, Greece, India, China, and more. Depending on how far back you want to go, you could easily say Plato, Aristotle, or Confucius invented the school. Or it could have been someone completely unknown to us today. In essence, the invention of schools is woven intricately into the very fabric of history's chronicles. Who invented water? In the vast expanse of the cosmos, amidst swirling galaxies and celestial wonders, one seemingly ordinary substance holds the key to life itself: water. From ancient myths to cutting-edge scientific inquiry, the origins of water have intrigued and captivated humanity for millennia. English chemist Henry Cavendish is credited with inventing water by identifying its composition in 1784. The process sounds shockingly easy. All Cavendish had to do was burn hydrogen and oxygen to create water. However, in doing so, Henry Cavendish also triggered an oxyhydrogen effect, which is notorious for its unstable, explosive tendencies. Cavendish's findings were published in his work, Experiments on Air, 1784. It offered insight into significant contributions made by the scientist, and can be reliably found in the Royal Society Publishing's Philosophical Transactions. Here, oxygen is dephlogisticated air and produces liquid water when in contact with heated hydrogen, or as Cavendish put it, inflammable air. By 1811, the Italian physicist Amedeo Avogadro discovered water's formula, the all-enduring H2O. It turns out that all water needed was faith, trust, and, well, hydrogen and oxygen. Avogadro's law dictated that equal volumes of gas will have the same number of molecules. Since it takes twice as many hydrogens to make a water molecule The formula must be H2O. Throughout history, thinkers and philosophers have grappled with the question of water's origin. From the ancient Greeks to medieval scholars, various theories emerged to explain the essence of water and its role in the cosmos. These early ponderings laid the groundwork for scientific inquiry into the nature of water and its place in the universe. Perhaps with all we know, it is safe to say that not one person is responsible for the invention of water. How can anyone be responsible for something naturally occurring? Thus, while we acknowledge the contributions of scholars over the last 1,000 years, we will need to dig deeper to uncover the true origin of water. So as we know, through collaborative efforts and communal works, humans learned about nature and invented lots of things we see today. From observing birds fly, we invented aeroplanes. From observing fish swim, we invented boats and submarines. Likewise, we discovered mathematics and so on. All the efforts of our ancestors helped us to evolve both physically and mentally.